DTM Prashanth to come up on the stage to felicitate Vaibhav with the DTM certificate. This is from auditors with love. This is not from TMI.
Finally, a picture.
A picture.
Good photo. Nice photo.
Sir, you want to say something about?
Anytime. A lot to say about him. I've seen him from very first speech, and very first time when he came together his P1, I liked it. The way he came unashamedly. There was no shame at all. He came as if he's a real radio jockey or someone, and started the way he started today. He was better in his P1. Now he became a bit more self-conscious. Going to his P2, P3s, by the time he went to P4, he became irritating. Yes. And I was his mentor, one of the mentors, and then I called VP and asked him, you know her, I don't know who was the VP. So I told him, why do you let him give a speech? He really screwed up the last speech. He has to repeat it, then only he comes and delivers the next speech. He did it so bad. And this guy, without a shame, he comes, delivers the next speech. But then since then, from that point to now, it's a different way. The way he delivered the speech today was quite different from the way he delivered his P4, P5 and P6 on dogs. Oh God, one story he kept on repeating in 3 speeches, and at the end of each speech it was, I'll come with the next section of the speech and the next one. God bless this. I'm so happy that you are a DTM. You are the second DTM of this club, and I'm sure there are a lot of people who are here who have the potential to become the 3rd, 4th, 5th DTMs. The day will come when orators will have a lot of DTMs. Some of them are here for a long time. There is at least one person here. When I delivered the first speech, CC1, he delivered his CC10 1 week before that. And we are waiting. Today I talked to the VP and said that whenever he delivers his DTM speech, I will be his evaluator. I don't know when will it come. And her reaction was, I'm not sure by the time he gives a DTM speech will I be there. But he sure is enjoying his speech. Overall, I would say, once again, congratulations, good job. You are an inspiration for many people. And folks, go ahead, keep on delivering your speeches. Keep the momentum, and you will be there. The journey has just started, buddy. Okay, chalo.
Toastmaster Aravindh, our pitcher. We have more testimonies.
लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं.
Thank you. First time I saw Vaibhav, I was thinking, kya choosy person. I swear to I don't know what to do. Choosy, nothing else. Because he was there at this area meet last year at the conference. The first time I saw him, and I'm like, my God, he's so aloof. He doesn't hang out with anybody. You know, he's got his purple hair, and you know, that's pretty much it. Like the first, like even in my phone, his number is saved as Vaibhav Gupta purple hair.
It's true.
It's true. It's true. And there's a lot of significance behind that purple hair, right? So I know the reason why he did it, but from that meaning, it's actually completely changed for what that actually signifies. Now, be ready for this. I think of him as an onion. I'm serious, literally. Purple, that's how I started, and then the only thing I remembered that was purple was onions. But if you see, that really works for him as a metaphor. If you think about it, anytime you go near him, unfiltered, you're going to cry. First thing. Second, you add him to anything, it's going to be a lot more tasty, fun. He's going to stick to fun, right? Third, and a lot of layers as well. That also works as a metaphor. You see the purple guy, and then you see the jacket and the coat, and then you see the guy who wears those weird headphones. You see the guy who makes other people cry, even if it's in a fictitious speech, letter, whatever. Of course, a lot of different layers, right? But I think more and more you realize that as a person, he has so much of value. I don't know anything about his speaking abilities, because I think this is the first speech I've seen him deliver. I'm like, this guy's a speaker, but the point is, this is me trying to.
I have this and you don't.
Okay. So sometimes your roast just do bounce back, but point to be noted: never roast an onion. What you do realize is a person of tremendous character, a person of tremendous skill, a person of tremendous layer, and also somebody who has a lot of potential. I'm not saying this because I'm an older guy than him, it's just that I've seen all the different pies he has his fingers in, and the way he's actually been able to deliver, not just in terms of speaking, but also in terms of leadership, in terms of all of his activities outside as well. And personally, I look up to him in some areas, not literally physical ones, but meeting. Good luck.
That's a good roast.
After he showed you that certificate, if I were in your place, I would have ordered. PD, you want to say something?
Roast करेंगे sir.
It was 2016 and I got a call from then area director, Kevin. He said there is a person who is going to help your club, and we were at 7 membership or 8 membership, we were struggling. And before this person came to our club, we reached around 11 membership, and he said there is a person who is going to help you, and this person's name is Vaibhav Gupta. Okay, some Vaibhav Gupta will come to my club, I'll see who he is. Colorful person. As soon as I saw him, wow, something good going to happen for club. But as soon as he uttered first word, very serious, composed, gravity-full personality. I'm like, what is going to happen? People are not able to come to meetings, they are not able to take up roles, and if this kind of person is coming to club to help us, we are gone. Corporate club, right? And I have seen this person changing, accommodating changes, and being adaptable to change as per situation. Literally, in 1 year, I've seen him changing his personality, typical personality attitude, to accommodate members in our club. And believe me, he made it possible. We were at 11 membership at that time. Right now we are at 29. President distinguished club now, and then District Director Sudha Balaji mentioned our club name in District Council meeting among in front of 72 leaders, and I saw that magic happening because of this guy. Colorful personality. At the same time, he helped himself to overcome his personal challenge. I know it personally. It's very difficult to manage if there is some typical personal challenge, and at the same time he helped clubs overcoming challenges, not just 1, 2, 3 in this journey. I respect him as a leader, as a person. Thank you so much, Vaibhav. You deserve it.
Frankly, when you said I saw magic happening, I was thinking that you will now start your coronation advertisement. Toastmaster Vanitha.
First of all, I feel very, very privileged that I got this opportunity to talk about Vaibhav on this very, very special day of his. My association with Vaibhav goes back in just 3 years ago, and I remember we both were MCs for a division meet, and that's the first interaction that I had with him. The creator in Vaibhav had the entire show scripted like a radio show, because we were having an RJ as one of the keynote speakers there. And he convinced me of a wacky idea which I normally wouldn't. I would stick to a formal script and do what is comfortable for me, but he pushed me to do something creative, and it turned out not just okay, it turned out pretty good, I guess. So that was the beginning of my association with Vaibhav. I've always known him as the orators guy with the purple hair. But what really transformed for me is in the years, this particular year especially, and I'd like to mention a few things that has happened in the year. So when this role of the club growth assistant division director came up, I was in two minds to pick somebody whom I was very familiar with, but not sure whether they were competent enough for the role, or to pick Vaibhav, whom I knew would definitely do a great job because I knew of his sales pitch skills by then, and work with somebody who didn't quite, get along very well in the first bit, but I could manage to do. And I chose the latter because I like to take risk, and I'm so glad I took the risk with him. What really transformed in this is when I thought I was actually giving him an opportunity, it actually ended up being he giving me an opportunity to become a better leader. So you just have to give him a challenge and you can see it getting done. He's an absolute go-getter. I've loved that about him. There are a lot of learnings just observing somebody like Vaibhav. And few of the things that stood out for me is that his attention to detail, which one of you had mentioned earlier, is just impeccable. He would know exactly how the person who's reading the email would think, and he would draft it like that. Like, it would annoy me because that I would not have anything more to suggest. Like, dude, I'm your boss, I'm not telling you anything. It means that you're doing such a fabulous job. And so that is how perfect he is at what he does. When the division needed few people, he was already mentoring Alstom Club. And when the division needed somebody really strong, somebody who can connect very well with college students, we kind of overloaded Vaibhav to coach T. Jones. It was very, very critical because we were getting 32 students who had no idea about Toastmasters into and we genuinely wanted them to have a great experience. So in spite of Vaibhav doing too much already on his plate, having already too much on his plate, we forced him to go to T. John. And my God, the way that he has transformed the club, that they give him a standing ovation and they put that "I love you, Vaibhav sir" thing on his special day, goes to show that how he's not just the average guy that you see, but he's somebody who genuinely connects with you. He goes